it's Joanne and I'm back with another video. So for today's video I'm going to be doing another book review. And the book that I'm going to be doing the review on is Nevermore by Kelly Creagh. So if you watch my videos, a lot of you know that Nevermore is my favorite book ever. Like, I love this book. This is my favorite book. Not only do I love this book because of the story, but because of the meaning that it holds for me. This book means a lot to me because this book was a book that I was reading when my dad was still alive. About 5 years ago, my dad died from lung cancer, and I remember that when my dad was sick at home, he didn't like being alone, so he would always ask either me, my sister, or my mom to stay with him in the room that he was in. One day he asked me to stay with him, so I brought the book. I was reading this book, so I brought it into the room, and I sat next to him while he was laying down, and I read about half this book, and just staying with my dad because he was sleeping. And this book reminds me of my dad and the last few times that I was with him, and you know, sometime when I was reading the book, he would wake up and, you know, we would talk to him, and then he would always have headaches, so he would ask me to rub his head, so I would rub his head while I was reading the book and everything. So this book holds a lot of memories for me of my dad, which is why I treasure this book so much, and it means a lot to me. The other reason why I love this book is because the story is so good, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Basically, this book is about a peppy, popular cheerleader named Isabel who gets paired up with this gothic king of the goths boy named Varen to do a English paper. And for the English paper, they have to pick a literary author, and do a report on him and a presentation. So they get paired up together. Isabel is horrified to be paired up with Varen because he's known as like the king of the goths and like Mr. Death and everything like that. And he's basically dresses like a goth. Like, he has black hair that falls into his face. He has a piercing. He wears eyeliner. And he dresses all in black. So she's horrified that she has to do a project with him. But as they get together and do the project and everything, she realizes that there's another side to Varen, and he realizes that she's not just a stupid cheerleader, and they end up falling for each other. The only problem is the supernatural things that Varen had started when he first became obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe. So basically, like, the works of Edgar Allan Poe come to life in this book. Varen, in his loneliness before he met Isabel, opened up a dream world where the works of Edgar Allan Poe come to life, and he would escape into that dream world to be with some demon woman or something. I don't think he knew it was a demon when he was there, but someone who made him feel loved. And then when he began to fall in love with Isabel, he was losing control of the dream world, and it was bleeding into the real world. That's basically what the story is about. I love this book. This story is so good. Let me tell you, the dream world that Kelly Creagh comes up with is awesome. The end does get crazy and confusing, so I'm not gonna lie about that, but I still really, really love this book. The second time I read the book, it was like a flash went off in my head, and I got everything that was going on, and I understood everything that was going on. The dream world is awesome. It's scary. It's shitty. Now on to the characters. I really liked Isabel. She is a good main character. In the beginning, you could tell that she's not stupid. Like, she's blonde, blue eyes, cheerleader, peppy, you know, whatever. But she's not stupid. She enjoys her popularity and her friends and things like that, but she's still a good person on the inside. She has a nasty boyfriend, but she's with this guy or whatever, and he gets upset that Varen is partnering with her for a basically homework assignment. So, of course, you know, he's like a big jock and whatever, and he threatens Varen or whatever, and she doesn't approve of the way that he treats people and treats Varen. Even though she doesn't really want to work with Varen, she still has her principles, and her principles is like, you know, don't be nasty to people, don't be mean to people, or anything like that. And she's horrified when him and her friends, kind of like do something, and she's horrified at them, and she dislikes what they do, and she stops them, and she basically stops hanging out with them after that. She breaks up with the boyfriend, and she actually helps Varen in that situation instead of being like her friends. So she does have manners, she knows what's right and wrong, and she values doing what's right. She loves Varen a lot, and she does everything that she can to save him when she's in the dream world. She puts herself in danger for him. She does insane, crazy things for him, and she does also try and save some of the other people who get caught in the dream world also. So she's really a good all-around person. She's very trustworthy, and she cares a lot about people, and she cares about saving people and protecting them, and especially Varen. So that's Isabel, and I really did like her. Varen is my favorite character. He is my top #1 book boyfriend. I love him so much. Like I said, he's goth, he dresses all in black, he has like black hair, he wears bottom eyeliner, his eyes are like a beautiful green. It's described so many times as being beautiful. And he has a lip ring, which is like, come on. But his personality is hilarious. He's very sarcastic, and especially in the beginning, he's very sarcastic to Isabel, and it is so funny. It really is. And he is just a lonely guy. Like, his home life is not too great. Nobody in school wants to be around him because they think that he's like a murderer or something like that, because the way he dresses and the way that he looks. So he has some friends who are mostly goths also, but it could be pretty lonely for him, which is why he decides to explore this dream world thing. He is also very obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe and all of his works, and he tries to protect Isabel from the dream world, especially when he's losing control of it. He tries to protect her, and he doesn't want her, he tries to stay away from her, he doesn't want her anywhere near it, and things like that. So he is very protectful of her also. There is another character in this book called Reynolds, and he is this mysterious guy who has a big hat, and he has like a kind of scarf covering his face, and you don't really know what he is. You don't know if he's part of the dream world or if he's like some kind of ghost or some kind of supernatural thing, but he definitely is a supernatural thing. But you don't know what he is, because he could appear out of nowhere. He appears in Isabel's dreams, and he helps Isabel with certain things. And he's also known as the Poe Toaster. And if you Google Poe Toaster, it comes up with the story of this guy who keeps coming and making an appearance every year. But nobody really knows who this guy is. And this Kelly Creagh puts him as a supernatural character in the book. Let me tell you, it works. I really liked Reynolds. He was like a very prim and proper person, and I get the sense that he's old because he claims to know Edgar Allan Poe and seems to really have cared about him. So I think he was a friend of Edgar Allan Poe, at least in the book he was. Although he does have lots of secrets, he's like cryptically talks to Isabel to try and help her, and he does something really shitty in the end that I really don't like him for. But let me not even talk about that. And the next character that I have to say that I absolutely loved was Isabel's younger brother, Danny. Oh my god, that kid was hilarious. He would say certain things, like he would call her jock boyfriend Meathead. So when the family found out that she broke up with him, he goes, "Whoa, you broke up with Meathead?" A few times when Varen has called the house to try and get together with Isabel to their project, Danny would pick up the phone, Isabel would tell him that she's not here and everything, and then when Isabel comes back, he's still on the phone with Varen, and Varen is helping him with his video games, and Isabel is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, he knew you were here, so I had to tell him you were on the crapper." Like, he says these funny, like, lines, and he is hilarious. And the way they interact with each other is so funny. It is so reminiscent of a brother and a sister, talking to each other and everything, and just being brother and sisters together. So it's just so funny. Another thing I did like in this book, even though it was kind of annoying because I haven't really dealt with that a lot in books, is that Isabel's family, especially her father, was very present in the book. Her family was there. Like, she got grounded, she was told what to do by them, she argued with them, they were looking out for her best interests, they forbade her to do certain things, so her family was actually there, present in the book the whole way. So it's not like Isabel could disappear for a few days like so many other characters in other books do. She can't do that because her family is there in the book, keeping tabs on her and, you know, just watching out for her. So it was very weird for me to deal with because she had to come up with excuses to her family. She had to find ways around to do what they wanted her to do or find ways around them. And I never really experienced that in a book because a lot of the parents are absentee parents in the young adult series up until I read this book. I really appreciated that, even though sometimes it was annoying. Now onto the romance. I love the romance. Even though Varen is mine, Isabel can have him in the book for a little while. I really liked the romance because in the beginning, they didn't like each other. Varen and Isabel were on two different social aspects of high school. They didn't hang out together. He thought she was a dumb cheerleader. She thought he was a murder-killing goth boy. And they really didn't like each other. And they didn't really get along when they met together to go and do these papers in these meetings so that they could work on their project. They didn't really like each other. And they didn't get along. But slowly, as they kept getting together and, you know, certain events happened, they started warming up to each other, and you could slowly see them falling in love with each other. So it wasn't like this was insta-love, like she turned and looked at Varen and fell in love with him. It wasn't like that. Like, they got to know each other. They showed actions towards each other that shows that they're starting to fall for each other, and let me tell you, I have never been this excited or elated or anything that I was when I read When They First Kissed. Because let me tell you, that shit doesn't happen for a long time in the book. This is a 400 and something page book. It doesn't happen till like the last third of the book. And I was so like happy, and it just filled me with like such satisfaction when they finally kissed, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I just had to read that kissing scene over and over again because it was so epic and it was so good. So the romance is like one of the best that I have ever read in young adult, and I love it so much. Their love is being tested through the dream world and through the things that are happening in there, and you could just see how much they care for each other. And they love each other by trying to protect each other, trying to help each other, trying to help each other get out of the dream world, and everything like that. So you can see that these are two people that actually really love each other. It's not just insta-love like, oh my god, I saw him and I fell in love. No, it's like a really good romance, and I loved it. The supernatural aspects of the book were awesome also. There are some creatures that come into the story, but I'm not really going to go into that because you have to read the book to find out. But I highly recommend this book, and I highly recommend everybody at least giving it a try. Like, you know, try it. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But I think it's so worth it to just try it. And this is my all-time favorite book. Obviously, it's 5 out of 5 stars for me. The top of my favorites list. If there was a fire in my house, I would save this book. So, yes, this is an awesome book. And it's all the feels for me every time I read it. I love it so much. So that's it for my book review / gushing about a book, because let's face it, that's really what it was. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys give Nevermore a chance because it's really good. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!